This is video 1 of a 4-part series of a flight from the Philadelphia area to Oklahoma City, Las Vegas, Sedona, Phoenix, and back. In this video, I cover how I fly lean of peak operations and how I know how lean or rich I need to be for any given power setting. Additionally, I encountered light to moderate rime ice on the flight, and I talk about the Baron's anti-icing systems. Enjoy the ride.
Welcome aboard. It's been a while since I've put a video out, but I have a flight here that I think is worthwhile of sharing. I'm going from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast, so from the Philadelphia area all the way out to Las Vegas, Nevada for the NBAA trade show. Today's flight, it's mostly flyover states. I'm going to spend the night in Oklahoma City, and then I'll do the second half of the flight into Las Vegas tomorrow. And then I also plan on flying and landing in Sedona and then coming back out of Sedona. That's a bucket list item while I'm out there. Anybody that knows Microsoft Flight Simulator should be pretty familiar with that airport. It's a really scenic, beautiful airport to land at. On the way back, I'm going to stop by Phoenix, Arizona, and then from there, I'll be coming back home. Okay, cleared to Oscar Uniform November via Modena, Victor 408, Robert, Victor 143, Martinsburg, Lizzo. Clear prop.
Okay, so you just heard that long IFR clearance. Fortunately, I have that in the iPad, so I could just send that right to my GTN 750 via FlightStream. Okay, so hit this message. Got my flight plan all right here. Activate. That easy to get that lengthy flight plan over. Sure this looks right on the map. Good thing I checked that because I have the flight plan that I filed in here. I need the flight plan I was cleared for, and we'll send that to the panel. Yes, that is the correct one. It's always good to double check your flight plan. In that case, I loaded the wrong one. That one is correct. Get the run up out of the way. So that's a prop governor check at 2,200 RPM. The mag checks are at 1700. Mags look good. And then we get a feather check at 1500. Feather's good. And an idle check. Get our altimeter and wind here.
Chester County, Carlson Airport. Automated weather observation 1534 Zulu. Wind 350 at 16 knots. Peak gusts 25 knots. Visibility more than 10. Sky condition clear below 12,000. Temperature 13 Celsius. Dew point 6 Celsius. Altimeter 2962 inches of mercury.
Tune nearest clearance. Philly clearance, Baron 517 Mike Romeo.
Baron 517 Mike Romeo, Philly.
Hey, Baron 517 Mike Romeo is number 1, runway 29 at Chester County, holding for release.
7 Mike Romeo, run stand by 1 second, we get release for you. Alright, Baron 7 Mike Romeo, release for departure, clearance flight if not off at 1540, and if you're not off at 40, just give us a call within 10 minutes of your intention.
Okay, cleared now. If not off by 1540, we'll give you a call back, 7 Mike Romeo. Chester County traffic, Baron 517 Mike Romeo is departing runway 29 and will be an eastbound departure, Chester County.
Approaching runway 29.
Okay, here we go. And then engine instruments are in the green. Airspeed's alive. Got a pretty good crosswind here. Chester County traffic, Barron is in a left turn out to the east, last call, Chester County. Philly departure, Barron 517 Mike Romeo is 2,000 for 3,000.
Say again?
Yeah, Barron 517 Mike Romeo is 2,200 for 3,000.
Number 517 Mike Romeo, Philly departure, ident for the altimeter 2958.
Ident 587 Mike Romeo.
Number 7 Mike Romeo, radar contact due southwest of Chester County Airport, climb and maintain 8,000 and turn right heading 180 vector on course.
8,000, 180 for vector 7 Mike Romeo.
Number 7 Mike Romeo, mid altitude, maintain 5,000 for now.
5,000, 7 Mike Romeo. Okay, I'm going to intercept on course. I'll activate the on-course leg. Nav, so it'll automatically intercept.
Number 7 Mike Romeo, turn right heading 260, join the Victor 408.
260 for Victor 408, 7 Mike Romeo.
Number 3 Tango Papa, Brandy 1 Airport, 12 o'clock, 7 miles.
Airport approach, airport in sight, 223 Tango Papa.
So I was going to say, this is a Garmin InReach. It allows me to do in-flight text in case I need to let the passenger know or somebody, you know, what my ETA is or what have you. I can do that from the cockpit.
Number 7 Mike Romeo, climb and maintain 7,000.
7,000, 7 Mike Romeo. And on the mixture leaning, I'm leaning to EGTs so I'll explain that here in a second.
Number 7 Mike Romeo, climb and maintain 8,000.
8,000, 7 Mike Romeo.
Number 7 Mike Romeo, contact Potomac approach 125.52, good day.
25.52, good day, 7 Mike Romeo.
For the visual approach, rolling 33, contact Mark Tower.
Potomac approach, Barron 517 Mike Romeo, 6,500, climbing 8,000.
Barron 517 Mike Romeo, Potomac approach, altimeter 2966.
66, 7 Mike Romeo. Okay, so the leaning, you want to get a EGT temperature at sea level at a standard day. So I've done that. I've taken off at a sea level airport on a standard day, noticed what the EGT value was at that point, and essentially you can use that as a target EGT as you climb. It can also be used as a target EGT on a higher elevation airport takeoff. You can do a full power run up and lean to that EGT value, and that'll be a proper mixture setting for a full throttle takeoff. In this airplane, it happens to, I basically target 800 degrees Celsius EGT. I'm leveled at 8,000. Get the throttles where I want them here and prop. And I'm going to be flying lean of peak. I'll go over this lean procedure.
Maintain 1.
Okay, so for leaning,
M534.
I use another article here. This is the work basically with the advanced pilot seminars. So this article here is written by Gordon Feingold in October 2003, based on Deacon, Braley, Atkinson work. So essentially, this is for the IO 550 engines, which are in the Barron.
641, 2966.
There's a red box. So here it is, a graphical depiction. So at a certain power setting, you want to remain outside of this red fin here. So you want to be leaner than or richer than this area. So there it is in a graphical format, and here it is in a tabular format. So I essentially did that and created a calculator here.
This AM 534 approach 118.
So I could enter any manifold pressure or prop setting. So in this case, my throttle is at 21.9.
Jazz 7, I'm sorry, Jazz 871 cross Baltimore, maintain 10,000, 250 knots.
Okay, cross Baltimore,
21.9. Nope, not 31. 21.9. So that's 65% power. At 65% power, I could basically, it's telling me lean a peak in Fahrenheit, or rich a peak, you want to be 100 rich or 56 degrees Celsius or richer. If I'm running lean a peak, I can run at peak or leaner. So essentially at 65% power, it's hard to really have a power setting where you're going to hurt your engines. There's two ways to do a lean of peak. One is there's a function just to lean, and I have a lean of peak lean. And some people say don't use that, and I'll get into that. But I'm just going to demonstrate this lean using the lean of peak function here. So I'm going to pull somewhat rapidly down to 13 gallons per hour because I know in this aircraft it goes lean of peak lower than 13. So here I am, you can see I'm already peaking. Actually, that was too fast of a peak. I'll try this better on my right engine. I'm going to go down to 13 and not go too fast past it like I did on the left. So there's 14. All right, so I'm starting to peak. There's the first cylinder, number 5 is peaked. Lean a peak, you want all your cylinders to peak, and then... All right, so they're 13.1. I have everything peaked here. And since at this power setting, I can basically run at peak or leaner. Right now, on the left engine,
Number 2 Echo Golf ident.
I'm 12 below lean of peak, and now I'm 7 degrees Celsius, 6 to 7 degrees
Number 2
Celsius.
Echo Golf radar contact, 5 miles
I'm gonna
northeast of Woolley intersection. I show you 3,000 feet, put it in the cost Bravo as requested. Baltimore altimeter is 2965 if you need it.
Gallons per hour. Back up to, I'm gonna run, try and
3850 approach 13385.
do 13 each here.
Southwest 3850 approach 13385.
And you can see I'm a little bit on the lean side of my peak still. 4 to 5 degrees Celsius. 9 degrees Celsius on this engine. So that's good. So I'm going to leave it there. Start monitoring. So you can see my percent power 65, 66. So the other way to lean it is actually to use the rich of peak function. But you actually use it backwards, so you're not actually just leaning to find the first cylinder to peak.
November 45 Sierra contact.
You do a large pull to get well into the lean. So in this airplane, I pull to 12 or below, 12 gallons per hour below, knowing right there I'm already lean of peak. And then I would use the rich of peak lean fine, and then start to enrich it until the first cylinder peaks. So coming up from the lean side, when the first cylinder peaks, using the rich of peak, even though I'm not coming from the rich of peak side, that'll give me my peak, and then I would lean it out from that peak. People do advocate for that because you quickly get out of the red box if you pull right down to the lean of peak side. It's quicker for me to lean using the lean of peak function on these instruments. I am in the red box just for a little bit as I'm going down through my lean, but I'm not there very long, so I don't think I'm doing irreparable damage to my engines using the lean fine function. But it's just quicker. I've found that as soon as all my cylinders peak, if I let go of my mixture, I wind up being a little, maybe, 8, 9, 10 degrees on the lean side. So then I just have very very minute mixture controls, inputs that are needed to really fine tune the lean that I want to be at. Like I'm probably going to go ahead and edit this, even though I'm doing it later than the first flight. I think it probably belongs with the discussion I had of lean of peak. So I'm probably going to insert it there. So when you see a shirt color change and a lighting change and you're wondering what happened, this was shot toward the end of this trip, so that'll go in place. So I descended to 9,000 feet, and I wanted to re-lean the airplane here. This is how, and I was talking about doing it. I'm actually going to do it now, so I figured I'd put the cameras on so I could show you here. So, as you can see here, the system is set to rich of peak first cylinder. So normally when you're doing that, you're leaning the mixture to find the first cylinder to peak. Well, I am currently on the lean side of peak, and I'm going to be enriching the mixture to find the first cylinder to peak. So it's basically coming at it from the opposite side of the spectrum there. So, and it takes a little longer, I think, than the lean and peak function where you just get them all to lean and go. But since I'm already lean and peak, we'll do it this way. So got the lean fine, and I'm going to work on the right engine here. So you're going to want to watch the EGTs here and the fuel flow for the right engine. So I'm starting to enrich it. You can see the fuel flow rise, and the EGT graphs are starting to rise. Okay, there's the first cylinder to peak, and it's telling me I am at -9. It's actually, I got to lean to get back to the lean side. I'm actually into the rich side of that. So I just pulled back to 13, and that's peak right there. And if I continued to pull back, -1, so that's -2, -3, so -6. So I'm about 7 degrees lean of peak right here. At this power setting, you can see 63, 62. According to the calculator I talked about in the first video. Here I can ride at peak. So I'm just gonna go right back to peak. I'm gonna bring my left engine back to peak. There I am, basically at peak. So I'm going to keep it there, go monitor. So that concludes the lean and peak. To my calculator here, so how did we come up with this? The other thing I can do, instead of using manifold pressure and RPM, I could just put in a power setting. So on my computer here, I have let me just put in 66%. And it's telling me I need to be 3 degrees Celsius or leaner, which I was when I did my settings here. So I could just put in direct power if you know the power settings. So say 70 degrees or 70% power, I'm going to have to be 14 degrees Celsius or leaner, 69 degrees Celsius or richer. If you use Fahrenheit, it'd be 25 degrees rich or 125 degrees rich or 25 degrees lean and peak. And again, this is for the the Continental IO 550 engine. And it's using, if you remember from the article, the red box. Here's the red box. These are the various power settings and the min, rich of peak, min, lean of peak that you want to be. Using that, I basically use some formulas to forecast. So say I have a power setting that's between, let me go back here, I'll put a power setting in that's between those numbers. So I'll do 72%. So now I have a formula here that's interpolating, it's basically forecasting using the box here, because I'm between 75 and 70, so right, 75 and 70. So it's not exactly 180, 125. It's something in between. So I use a forecasting formula to get the exact roughly bridge of peak setting and lean of peak setting.
Southwest 1613, departure radar contact, climb via the Terp 7.
Here's the power chart.
Via the Terp 7.
That was
1613.
I don't use this in the I did get the formula. If I click in here, you see there's a formula up here in the formula bar. That's the formula I use in my calculator. Using that formula, you can create a chart here that gives you, for every RPM setting, you have a manifold and a manifold. So say I'm at 2300 RPM and 23 inches on the manifold pressure. That's a 69 degree power, 69% power setting. If I go over to my computer,
I'm via the Terp 7 departure Delta 1402.
And I put in 23 inches here.
Departure 118.905.
You can see it's the same 69 that you got from the grid.
So golf, you're leaving the Bravo, you squawk VFR, frame exchange approved.
Why lean a peak? If I look at the flight that I'm going to do here, so I'll bring up my flight plan. So it's telling me I need 100, my ETA is 6 hours, and I need 151 gallons of fuel to do it. So say I went wide open throttle, 2300 RPM, rich of peak mixture. So instead of 6 hours, it's 5 hours 48, so I gained 12 minutes, and I'm burning 174 gallons instead of 151. So that's what, 23 gallons? Is that my math is correct?
We are, sir, yes.
So 23 gallons for 12 minutes. It's not worth the gallons, in my opinion, to run that rich of peak. The Baron's a pretty powerful aircraft. The engines are pretty powerful, so it doesn't go a whole lot slower running lean of peak versus rich of peak. So in the Baron, certainly there's no reason why not to run lean. Save a lot of fuel, it's better on the engines, and not really sacrificing a whole lot of speed. Right now my true airspeed is 188 knots. Okay, so now what's left ahead of me is a long, long flight. Let me check. Let's see what kind of fuel I'll have. Show fuel planning page.
Crown 5150, turn 10 degrees right vector around the north side of Leesburg.
So present position,
right,
active,
right, for Crown 5150.
flight plan to destination. So required fuel is 152 gallons. I'll have 33 gallons in reserve. That's over an hour of flying. So I'll have a 1 hour, 15-minute reserve.
25 big today, Takeoff 28. Yeah.
And I currently have a 7-hour endurance with a 5-hour, 54-minute ETA. So I know I have the fuel right now
Whiskey Heavy, descend and maintain 4,000.
to make the flight, but it's something I want to keep an eye on. Might run a little bit leaner just to get a little bit more fuel.
Have a good day, Charlie. Yeah.
Just a little bit more fuel, maybe. So it's a real long flight over flyover country, and it's called flyover country for a reason. There's not a whole lot to see, especially now. It's just clouds out there. So it's going to be me sitting here talking to air traffic controller for 5-6 hours. So I'll spare you that, and I'll start the cameras up as we get closer to our destination, so you can get the landing. And then I think the more exciting part of these videos will be out west. It's always more interesting seeing the Rocky Mountains. Even though I'm not going to be flying over the real high part of the Rockies, I'm going to be flying south to El Paso and then back up north to Las Vegas. I don't know what my approach into Las Vegas will be, if we'll get any shots of the Strip at all or not. I'm landing in North Las Vegas Airport, so I'm not landing at McCarran. So we'll have all that on video, and so I'll see you then. Take care.
7517 Mike Romeo, Indy Center Roger, and the Clarksburg altimeter is 2982.
2982 and 7 Mike Romeo has a request.
For 7 Mike Romeo, stand by.
Picking up some icing.
Worm 57, contact Cleveland Center 126.57.
Cleveland Center 126.57, Worm 57.
And correction, Worm 57, I gave you the wrong frequency. Contact Cleveland Center 126.9 or 5. November 517 Mike Romeo, go ahead with your request.
Yeah, request 10,000. I'm right at the cloud tops here picking up some mild icing.
For 517 Mike Romeo, roger, making a phone call, I have your request. For 517 Mike Romeo, climb and maintain 10,000.
10,000, 7 Mike Romeo. That's better. See if we can catch the ice shed here.
93710, and actually correction, Cleveland said you can just stay on your course, you can proceed direct to Cuyahoga Falls Airport.
Direct to the airport, appreciate it.
For 459er Bravo Golf, climb and maintain 10,000, turn 20 degrees to the right for traffic.
The typical spot where you can pick up some icing is right there at the cloud tops.
For 517 Mike Romeo, can you advise when you get out of the icing and what intensity of icing you were getting?
Yeah, I was out of it. I was right at the tops there at 8,000, so as soon as I probably passed 8,500, I was out. And I'm going to call it rime icing.
For 517 Mike Romeo, okay, is that light or is that moderate rime icing?
I'd say light to moderate.
517 Mike Romeo, roger, thanks for the fire pin.
Okay, so I figured there might be some questions about that icing that I got through and what the Baron has on board to combat that icing. So the Baron has anti-ice system that consists of pitot heat, fuel vent, stall warning heat, prop, windshield, and surface. So as the names imply, this heats up the pitot so the pitot doesn't freeze up and cause abnormal airspeed indications. The fuel vent, that heats that up so that the bladders, the fuel tanks can still vent and not collapse the bladders. The stall warning heat will give me a stall warning, keep that from freezing up. The prop, they're hot props, so it'll heat up the boot, it's like a boot looking thing on the props that'll heat up and it will just melt the ice that's on the props. The windshield, that activates this black, like little square rectangle thing. Inside here will shed ice, so this whole windshield could be full of ice, but I could see through this little rectangle. And then the surface de-ice, and that is the boots that are on the wings, the wing roots. And I don't think you could probably see the tail out here, but the tail surfaces, the vertical and horizontal, have boots. And when I hit that surface auto, it inflates the boots. So you saw it when I had ice on it when I hit it. So I'm not going to operate the boots now.
517 Mike Romeo, contact Louisville approach 132.07.
13207, good day, 7 Mike Romeo. Okay, so that's a brief overview of the anti-icing system on the Baron. The Baron is FIKI, so it's FIKI stands for Flight into Known Icing. So even though it has it, you basically use those systems to get out of the icing condition like you saw. So I wasn't going to just sit there and hang out at 8,000 feet collecting ice just because I have anti-icing system. I used it to get out of it, climbed up to 10,000 here, and I've been pretty much on top of the clouds. It's been the cloud layer the whole flight so far. I'll catch up with you guys further downstream here. Okay, I'm going to turn on some pitot heat, fuel vent.
572 Charlie Hotel, state departure radar contact, climb maintain 15,000, turn right heading 090.
It is 3 degrees Celsius. 7,300, descending 6,000 currently. looks like just like it's precipitation, not ice. That's good. Okay, so the bases are right here at 6,000.
November 7 Mike Romeo, descend at pilot's discretion, maintain 4,000.
4,000, pilot's discretion, 7 Mike Romeo.
Number 7 Mike Romeo, turn right, heading 195, vector for traffic.
195, 7 Mike Romeo.
Number 7 Mike Romeo, descend and maintain 3,000.
3,000, 7 Mike Romeo.
Number 7 Mike Romeo, Westheimer Airport, 3 o'clock and 6 miles.
7 Mike Romeo has the airport in sight.
Number 7 Mike Romeo, cleared visual approach, runway 36, contact Westheimer Tower 118.0, good day.
Okay, cleared for the visual 36 over to 118.0, good day, 7 Mike Romeo.
Power 584, exceed departure, radar contact, climb and maintain 7,000.
Vertical track.
Westheimer Tower, Baron 517 Mike Romeo in a right base for visual 36.
Baron 517 Mike Romeo, Westheimer Tower, the wind is 34014, the altimeter is 3026. Traffic, Cessna on short final, runway 36, clear to land.
Class altitude in 1.
Clear to land, number 2, 36, 7 Mike Romeo. Green, no red. I had minimum set in case it was a RNAV approach, but you'll hear that enunciate probably, right?
Minimums.
So, in an IFR approach, if you hadn't seen the runway here, it's a go around.
Baron 7 Mike Romeo, where you going this morning? Correction, this afternoon.
Going over to the FBO for an overnight for 7 Mike Romeo.
Okay, make a right turn. You're on taxiways Charlie, Echo, and Alpha. Cross runway 3 at Echo and park at the base of the tower for transit.
Picked a spot that has hotels right there. We're close to the airport. And there's some restaurants close by, so I don't need a rental car. I can just walk over and get food. Show flight timers page. 6 hours and 18 minutes right now. Long flight. Okay, total flight time, 6 hours, 20 minutes.